Brothers and sisters, today I want to share with you advice that Our Lady gave to a very special mystic of the 19th century into the 20th century, Sister Josefa Mendez. Maybe some of you would have heard about her, but she had revelations from Jesus and Mary, and she has a real thick book about really about the heart of Christ and learning how to console his heart. And really it's like very much in the vein of the whole Sacred Heart revelation to Saint Mary Margaret Alacoque. But she's taken quite seriously and certainly quite honored among Spanish Catholics and also in France, because she had a connection to France. And so I want to share with you a note that that Our Lady shared with her herself, and then we might tease one or two kind of lessons for the spiritual life out from it, if that's okay. Just in this month, we're trying to maybe keep some of our daily reflections on the theme of Mary and how and from thinking of Mary, we could think of different truths of the spiritual life. So on Friday, April 22nd, the devil's efforts to take away her peace, his sister Josefa Mendez. And this is one of the tactics of the evil one, right? To disturb us, to make us anxious, to make us fearful, to make us afraid, to lose our hope, to trap us in ourselves and trap us in our wounds and trap us in our sinfulness and trap us, in guilt. And these are all signs of the evil one's presence in our life. And he plays on our own natural weaknesses, because by ourselves, we too can make ourselves anxious without even the devil's intervention. But he knows our weaknesses and he knows how to exploit them. And so, of course, we overcome these things by visiting the sacraments, but also preparing for the sacraments by a real life of prayer. And this is one of the great themes of Heartreach again and again, is to really underline the importance of prayer and the life of prayer in the Christian life, and just to see how prayer touches on so many parts of the Christian life. Okay, so Sister Josefa Mendez said, I went up to the oratory of the Blessed Virgin in the novitiate to beg her not to let me give in. So this was where she was trying to resist the temptations to anxiety. So it's something we have to resist, it's something we have to push back against. We all get anxious. There are all things that come up in all our lives that want to steal our peace. And so then she writes, she suddenly came in a very motherly attitude and said to me, this is when Our Lady came to her and spoke, and she saw Our Lady. My daughter, I want to teach you a lesson of great importance. The devil is like a furious dog, but he is chained. I want to underline that. He is chained. Now, this is symbolic, of course, which means that he has only a certain amount of freedom. He can only seize and devour his prey if it comes close to him. And is in order to seize it, that his usual tactic is to make himself look like a lamb. The soul that does not realize this approaches little by little and only discovers its malice when it is within its reach. When he seems far away, he does not cease to watch you, my daughter. His steps are silent and hidden, so as to pass unnoticed. She gave me her blessing and disappeared. Those were her words. So the one of the things is that he is chained, and so there's the first lesson to think about here, that the devil does not have unlimited power in the universe. The devil is not God. By far, God is infinitely more powerful than the devil. And so we have to be careful in our spiritual lives of not overemphasizing the devil and everything's the devil and everything is his attack. And it might very well be his afflictions are very much there. But once we recall this mystery of iniquity, and so Satan in the spiritual life, we should make sure that he's not center of our attention. The right place where he belongs is under the foot of Christ and the foot of Our Lady, which was announced in Genesis that this woman would crush him. So the heel of this woman would crush him. So that's where he belongs. And in reality, in the spiritual life, that is where he is. He's chained. The only reason that the Lord allows him to a certain amount of freedom, as Our Lady said, but he's chained, is so that we could grow much more virtuous and meritorious by temptation. So the sons and daughters of God flourish under temptation. They flourish under affliction. They flourish under the cross. And so this is a really important part of the spiritual life. So this is, the Lord may allow him to tempt. And even if we fall in temptation, the Lord may allow that so that we could grow humble and not proud. But it is by fighting against the temptations to faith, hope, and love, and all the other, vices that we know in our life, that we can grow and become holy. Just like the cross, right? Like the Lord allowed Satan to afflict him on the cross, and brought about his ultimate defeat. So this is how Satan is when he attacks us, but we turn to Jesus and to his grace. We are furthered along the spiritual life, and he is defeated and he is shamed. So, brothers and sisters, don't be afraid. The Lord is infinitely powerful, and Satan is chained, and we must remember that, even though he can do real damage.